Comedy comes in all forms. You have your situational comedies, you have your daily life comedies, you have dark comedy, that one I quite like myself. But then you have improv comedy. Probably the best and hardest thing to do is improv comedy. The improv comedy is where you improvise everything. Someone from the audience or someone you know says something. Let's say... Okay, I can't think of anything. See, that's not very good improv comedy because I'm semi-improving these entire things. But it's a funny thing that when improv is done right, you will laugh every single time. Actually, if you think about it, a Let's Play is a bit of an improv comedy style, where you have a game that either you have nothing or a whole bunch of information on, and most of the time it's nothing. No information, that's why you go into a blind Let's Play. And then the person playing the game makes fun of the situations and what happenings that's going on, and then that becomes funny. So I think if you're a good improv person that does good improv comedy, you would be able to do good Let's Plays. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other systems in place for that, and actually being good at the game also helps, and a lot of other things. But improvisation is probably a very big part of doing a good Let's Play. If you are interested in improv comedy, I would suggest this show. Well, not this show, channel surfing. No, I meant the show that I'm talking about now. The show would be Whose Line Is It Anyway? It is probably the funniest show you will ever see. And see and see again. Because no matter how many times you watch the show, you will always laugh. Even if it's the same episode over and over again. You will always laugh. I guarantee you. The show's premise is fairly simple. Drew Carey, would you please explain?
And welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. How the show works is, during the show, we're going to ask our performers to come up, and they're going to totally make up in front of you scenes based on suggestions that we give them and the audience gives them. They've never seen any of the material before. They don't know what's going to happen to them. It'll be really fun. And then I award them points based on my whimsy. And the points don't matter, because at the end of the show, I just pick the guy I like the best, and he wins. And then we get to do a scene together at the end of the show. So let's get things started. You ready to see the first game?
Drew Carey and his group of improv friends have done quite a few things in the realm of both stand-up and improv comedy, and a few of their shows didn't quite work. It was, of course, after Whose Line ended, and some of the shows were good, but they didn't get as many ratings as they should have. One of them was a green screen show.
Welcome to the Melted Clock. Can I get you boys a drink? I'd like a slippery elm tree. You better know how to make a slippery elm tree. I invented it. Then you're probably wondering how I know about the slippery elm tree. I am, because I invented it about 2 minutes ago and never told anybody. I am the keeper of your dreams. Who are you?
Extra, extra, I'm just an extra. Extra, extra, I'm just an extra.
That I quite liked, but I can understand why it didn't survive, because you had to pay not just the actors, you had to pay the cartoonists, and then the entire system of, hey, this is going to take a while to animate kind of thing, and green screen. I can see why that one didn't work. But then there's also Drew Carey's Extravaganza, which if you know anything, if you lived in Las Vegas, or lived in Las Vegas for the time that the show was going on, it was an actual live show that they recorded in Las Vegas, and they put it on the Game Show Network. Yes, there's an actual thing called the Game Show Network. That's another show, though. But it didn't last very long because no one knew it existed. So that one only had a season, but I recommend that show as well. The Mousetrap was probably... if you like scared people doing Let's Plays, you will enjoy Mousetrap.
I think we're in Hostile enemy territory.
Germans are everywhere.
Get over here. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
I heard something.
I think they might have booby-trapped the field.
Let's start talking about the show, though. It started off, actually, as a British TV show. Very British funny.
Through the garden gates he came, again that summer. Until this point, he'd had no bouts with the dizziness. He remembered only vaguely the smell of burning rubber. Yes, that was all behind him. As he got to the cottage door, he thought to himself,
I wonder if the ladies are at home. He rang the bell, and out gaily tripped Joanne. Joanne said, "Come in, and I'll fix you a meal." As they went into the living room, all the girls were sitting round, gaily embroidering different things onto different pieces of material. "Hi," they said. "Are you still getting those dizzy spells?" "Well, we'll have to do something."
We'll have to do something about that, said Jack. John. Yes, said Jill. June. See the dizzy spell, said John. Yes, said Jill. The dizzy spell. I would like a dizzy spell too. So he hit her across the head with a lump of lead piping.
But I'm not much of an expert on the British comedy. I wasn't that fan of the British version of The Office, to be frank. I much prefer the American version and that actual show. But if you enjoy British comedy, watch it, and you might laugh. I actually haven't actually watched a lot of it, and to be fair, I don't really want to. But if you really want to laugh, you would go into the American version of Whose Line Is It Anyway? I think it started in the 90s. Again, one of those 90s shows. It was beautiful. It was a great show. It started off a little rough. People didn't quite know what it was, but once it got a good following, it just continued on. 8 seasons. 8 great seasons. All the episodes in there are funny. It either has the entire episode is funny or like parts of it are funny. And whenever you watch an episode, you want your favorite skit to be on there. Skits included would be from strange to musical, and then there's also the comedy improv stuff. Strange would be...
All right, you want tricks? I got some tricks for you here. This is the magic egg.
What is
That's
that?
what I said, the magic egg.
What's the magic
well, look,
egg do?
I put the egg in my mouth.
Yeah?
And another one.
Where'd it go?
Like that?
That was funny! That was funny!
But let's start off with the characters. Well, no, not the characters. The improvers themselves. We have Drew Carey, who was the announcer slash kind of got in there at the end of the show, which was a very new thing, actually, because whenever you had the announcer, the presenter of a game show or show in general, he never did anything. He was only the one that asked questions or said, "No, you're wrong. This is would you like to form that into a question?" No, but when Drew Carey got on the stage, it was like, "Hey, we actually like him too," and he got a good fan base because of that. He now, because of that fan base, actually, I believe, is the reason why he is now the host of The Price is Right, which is another show I will get to in the game show episode that I might do. Continuing on, though, we have Ryan Stiles, who is always made fun of his nose, his blue shoes, of that one episode. You will know what I'm talking about if you've seen that episode. His height, and they take it all well. Believe me, they all make fun of each other because they're all good friends.
That was great. I wish I could give you points, but I couldn't hear anything because Ryan's shoes are too loud. No, seriously, it's like he stepped in an airplane toilet and came to work.
Wow. Just keep signing the checks. You can say anything you want.
Don't I know it?
So we make fun of Ryan because of that, but he's a great improv actor, and he is probably the funniest of the bunch because he takes some of them, some of the skits they do, he likes, but then he doesn't like Hoedown, and we know he doesn't like Hoedown, so it's like, it's a hoedown, everybody! And Ryan is like, oh god, no.
Now we're going to go on to Ryan's favorite, a hoedown. Woo!
And we love him because of that. We also have Colin Mockery, who is a mockery. No, he's not a mockery. He is a great one. They always make fun of how he's bald or how he's Canadian, as everyone should.
With the business desk, please welcome Baldy Flapscalp.
What do you mean baldy? What do you mean baldy?
Oh my God! When did that happen? Turn the camera away.
Nope.
What are you doing?
Thanks for that illuminating report, Baldy.
I can say these jokes. I'm part Canadian. And then we have Wayne Brady, who is probably, oh my god, it's not that he's a great improver. He's a great improver. No, hands down, he's that. But he's a great improv singer. That is probably the hardest improv thing to do, and they capitalized that so well with him and a couple other guests that do that well. I think it was Chuck someone. I know his first name was Chuck. Oh, Clip. Bring up the clip.
Maybe unsuitable for younger viewers, Chip Eston.
Yeah, him and a few others. Whenever they did the music bits, it would just be so good. The fourth member of the group is always mixed up. You either have a few girls in there, you have a few returning guys in there, a couple celebrities. I remember there was an episode with Whoopi Goldberg in there. She was quite good. A lot of other stuff mingled in and mashed in. It's a great show, great cast and crew, and just for them, I think it's a great watch. Now let's talk about the skits. The skits aren't technically original. I mean, everything in it that they do is original. I meant, like, the premise of it isn't technically original. And if you are a part, if you are a part of any improv group out there, you will know that these are probably standard improv group classes and stuff, where you do this and you work on your improv skill. But the only difference is in the show is that it's an actual show. They record it, they take things from the audience, and it's beautiful how they do that, because you get so many good moments. You get the hoedowns, like I said, where you just get you get a topic of, let's say, the dentist. I think one of the dentists. No. The dentist was Greatest Hits. Those are phenomenal, by the way. I'll talk about that in a second. No, I'm thinking of, well, whatever I pick. But then they do a song about that. Dun 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 dun. I watched this show so much. I know the Hoedown tune. It's a wonderful tune. I probably think the best things on the show, though, are the guessing games, where you have the three the three people are given a note, and then they have to improv that character. And then the fourth person has to guess what they are. And those are probably the best ones. You have Let's Make a Date, which is always hilarious. The further it got in the show, in the seasons, in the series, the weirder it got. Because in the start, it's like, hey, I'm a jazz musician, old-time bluesy person, or I'm a singing bass on a wall. But then they got into some really good stuff as a... I can't remember. You know what? Put up another clip.
Bachelor number 2. If you were gonna fly me to a really romantic place, where would that place be? And what would we... And what...
You can think of romance at a time like this! This is your fault, you son of a...
Thank you.
It was just phenomenal. We also have the, I just watched something to get ready for this. What was it? Party Quirks! Party Quirks. That one was also really good. Clip! I must have another clip.
Hello, Brad.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I have to say, I love the sound of your doorbell. Oh, sorry, I'm late. It must be 3 o'clock.
Who's your friend?
3 o'clock, but it's time. It's time for a little volleyball.
But I have to say, the cream of the crop, out of all of that is probably the song stuff. Oh man, I was just talking about this. The Greatest Hits. Greatest Hits is probably their staple. Except for the Who's Line skit. That's actually not very common in the show, to be surprising. But Greatest Hits is probably the best thing you will have. You have Ryan and Colin doing the TV announcer, as you have as the late night music CD people. They just riff on each other and they say, hey, this was a great year of television. No, a great year of music. You have the whole reggae and rap and stuff.
Hey, Cole.
Yeah, Ryan?
Here's a little riddle for you.
All right.
What kind of bird always says the name of our next band?
Oh, I guess, tern? An Arctic tern?
And what sound does an Arctic tern make?
Backstreet Boys?
That's wrong.
And then they would make up a song title, and they would then look at Wayne and one of the other guests, and they would look at them, and they would expect a song, a very short, a minute long song, maybe 30 seconds song, to be sung, and they would not fail. That is the best part. They would not fail at making up that song.
Miss Kitty left me all alone. Miss Kitty left me all alone. I'm in the danger zone. Look at me, I'm in the danger zone. She just separated, it wasn't divorce. Bye-bye, see you later, I'm gone. Miss Kitty left me, I'm alone with my horse. Bye-bye, Kitty.
This show is probably one of the best comedy shows out there. You will not find anything as funny of an improv show as ever. You will not find that. Comedy-wise, it's hilarious, but compared to other shows, it's probably up there with Modern Family or, like I said, The Office. Actually, Modern Family and The Office are pretty much the same show. You know what? I'll talk about that in another show. But I do want to bring this up very quickly, okay? This actually is really important. I love Who's Line. It's why I'm doing this episode of Channel Surfing. And in researching the show, I found out something very interesting that I didn't know, and I'm very happy to know. It's returned. That's right. It is actually returned on television. It's on the CW now, with a new host. I can't remember the name of the host. But I'm relying on these clips today. Bring it up.
And I'm Aisha Tyler. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, her. And I have to say, I watched a few episodes of it. Just as funny as the original. Just as funny, and that is great. Colin Mockery, although, has white hair.
A little bit extra gel tonight?
Yeah?
Oh, on my hair?
And that freaked me out for a second. It didn't really freak me out for a second. I saw him on Drew Carey's Extravaganza, and I saw him having white hair, and it just what freaked me out was that he's just as spry and energetic as he was back then, and it's been a few years. It's been quite a few years, and it's amazing to me how all of them can be just as energetic as they were back then. The best part, I have to say, the absolute best part isn't the fact that it's back on television. It's not the fact that everyone is back. It's the fact that Laura Hall and Linda Taylor are back as musicians. That is the one thing that utterly blew my mind. If you watch Whose Line, the original with Drew Carey, you will know of Laura Hall, Linda Taylor, and that other one that doesn't get many appearances, but I know she does the saxophone and a lot of the wind instruments. She also, I haven't seen an episode of her though, but Laura Hall and Linda Taylor, those two are back, and they're the ones that did the music for Greatest Hits and the improv music bits.
Wayne is going to be making up a song assisted by Laura Hall and Linda Taylor on piano and guitar.
And that just made me so happy that they kept to the great style of what the show was. But this brings up a sad point, because that I didn't know about it, it's why I don't think it will last very long. That's the problem. It's why Drew Carey's Extravaganza, again, third time I mentioned this, Drew Carey's Extravaganza was so good. It had pretty much a big cast. Everyone from the group that does the improv, all of them, in that one show, and a couple guest stars here and there, but that was probably the greatest highlight of their careers as an improv group. And it didn't last very long because no one knew about it. And it only lasted for a few episodes. I think it was like 13 or 12 or something. And it's very sad. And the fact that Whose Line, the rehash, season 9, isn't getting a lot of publicity is really sad. And if they do put out some publicity and say, hey, remember Whose Line? Well, it's back on. And if you get those people that loved Whose Line and just watch it again, you will get a great few more seasons out of it. And I think that would be great. But I really don't think I think there's only going to be like 2 seasons left. And that's really sad. So if you're watching this show, start with the new show on television. Watch that. Granted, the host isn't as funny as Drew Carey was. I'm sorry, girl, but you're not. I think if you want to be on that level, I would love to see you do improv with the group. If you do that, I will accept you. I would love to see you try that. But other than that, the show is still great, and I really want you guys to watch it. But I just really hope it lasts a bit longer than it should. So, that was today's channel surfing. I hope you enjoy. I hope you watch the show. Believe me, I really hope you watch Whose Line. It is a fantastic show. You will love it. Laugh. Cry with laughter. You will literally cry with laughter. So many great things. Next week, we are going to be talking about shows that didn't quite make it. Shows that only got 1 season, hell, even half a season, and just ended way too early, because these shows were really good. I mean, spectacularly good. The shows in question are about a giant worm and film noir, based off of a few very funny movies. The second one you may not get very off the top of the head. You will. I think if you know what the giant worm is, I think you might get that one. But I do not think you will get oh my god, this show is probably the most niche show you will ever find in that sense. But from me to you, please keep channel surfing, go keep watching shows, and I hope you enjoy.